Tell us a tale.
A tale of the Shire.
Oh no.
That I got to jump in and play straight away on the 29th, and then continued to play and have proceeded to play, as Peter called out, quite a fair bit of it. I've now completed the main story. I'm just doing the fun stuff on the sides now. It is, despite the negative reviews that many people have gotten from it, it is adorable. It's very pretty, and it's very much, I'll take this. I'm going to read out the little spiel.
You were
Spiel
off camera,
away.
so you could have done
anything.
that without
Could have
shouting
sung
out.
it.
Yeah.
Tales of the Shire. So it's the newest game from the Stories of Tolkien. So it's a spin-off. It's not connected to anything main story-wise. So in terms of how legitimate things are, they kind of got to have a bit of a free play there. You get to play a hobbit that's moved from Bree, from the big city of Bree, into this little area of what starts off as Hobbiton, but they're all very passionate about being their own village. And so the whole storyline, the main storyline, is essentially working with the townspeople and the townsfolk to make the assessor that's from Hobbiton determine that we are worthy enough of being our own independent society. Of Bywater is what it's called. Okay. Essentially, like within that, obviously there is a lot of side stuff. So the main storyline is about 8 hours of play, but then you've got extra stuff on the sides, and once you finish that, like, it doesn't just end there. You can build out relationships, and you've got clubs and stuff like that you can sort of work on outside of it. But you've essentially got to live your life as a hobbit the whole time. So you've got to cook for people. So one of the big things is like relationships and friendships. So you've got to cook for them. They come over for dinner. You have different areas that you can unlock to have meals at. You can fish, which I know is a big thing for some people. You can forage as well, and as the seasons go by, there's different things to forage. You can garden. You get a little garden, and it essentially, like, it all is around the basis, obviously great shopping right here, around the base of the fact that you need to form relationships to be able to unlock a lot of the things within the game. Okay. It's very cozy. I know there's been a lot of sort of up and down and different sort of reviews on it. I find it very cozy. I think if you're someone that likes cozy games, it is a cozy game. You get to be a little hobbit. The clutter in like having your own little hobbit hole is incredible. You get access to so many things, and like I could spend hours with the stuff that I've been given from gifts and stuff from other hobbits, just quite literally putting clutter in my house. Like there's like little towel stacks, there's like clothes that are strewn on the floor, you can put little posters up, you can put candles, you can do literally so many different things. And I definitely, when I first played it, found myself getting teary-eyed at some of the cuteness of things.
Oh, really?
You can walk up to the ducks and you wave at them, and then they do a little thing, and then you go, and it's just adorable.
Just the walk cycle of you skipping around.
Yeah,
your
you get to
house.
skip. There's no running. It's walking or it's skipping. So I skipped and I frolicked as much as I could.
Amazing.
I will say, like, one of the big things that has sort of been pointed out is the accessibility of it. There's no dialogue at all. Like, there's no audible dialogue other than like, while you're going through the conversations, and there's no option to add that to like have something read out what you're reading.
Yeah, right.
And to progress with the storyline, a lot of the stuff is based off the relationships with other characters. So you've got to be reading them to know, you know, the things they like, what they're saying they're going to do.
Sure.
I found myself often skipping through things, and then I'd be like, shit, I've not paid attention to what I need to be doing right now. And so then you kind of just like stuck on having to go back and do it again. And so it's definitely not the most accessible when it comes to that. And I think that's something that they could probably hopefully look at adding in potentially.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, it's just sort of the dialogue, lots and lots of dialogue, lots of
It's a shame
talking.
because it's like there's the accessibility point, but it's also exhausting sometimes. Like if you're just not really up for that in a video game, you'd like to, and you know, the chance to have really wonderful voice acting. They obviously couldn't get that in this game, and that's unfortunate. And other games in the past have proven that you can patch it in eventually if there's a demand for it. But I imagine there's a lot of it, and you would need some very talented actors to do very tonally what you would want from the voice acting here. So yeah, just reading a lot can sometimes be like, oh, geez, I'm exhausted. And that's not what you're here for.
And they can get quite long too. One of the big things is obviously with hobbits, they can be quite grumpy sometimes. And in the beginning, when you first interact with a lot of them, they're very little grumpy pants. And it's sort of like a cute, endearing sort of thing. But as you progress through, you level up your friendships. And so like for some of them, I've gotten to a point of like a friendship of like, they're building things for me and they're doing all this stuff for me. But then every time I interact with them, they're like, what are you doing here? And it's like...
Yeah.
It's like,
I thought we were past that.
Yeah.
But maybe building is their love language.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. They're like, thank you
like
so
that.
much for your help. And then the next time I see them, they're like, why are you still here?
So is that-
It reminds me of when the original Animal Crossing game had like mean villagers that hated you, and I kind of fucked with it.
It's very Animal Crossing, and I think that's what, like, when I jumped into cozy gaming when COVID happened, and it was the Animal Crossings that got me into it, and this definitely gives that vibe. The graphics get a lot of shit because people are so used to, with all the other Lord of the Rings games, being very intense
Cutting
and like
edge.
but like the smoothness of the graphics is what gives you that cozy vibe.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't
It's
jump
called
in
stylization.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
and yeah, so I think it's like, it's definitely one of those things where there's valid points to the negativity, but then also I think a lot of it is a lot of people jumping in expecting it to be like every other Lord of the Rings game.
As a Lord of the Rings fan, does it feel like it's appropriate? Does it feel like the lore is respected, or does it feel like it's just doing its own thing?
I think it's respected in the fact that like I wouldn't hold a lot like a candle to like them being like, well, is that character actually a legitimate thing?
Sure, yeah.
But I think the essence of it is like
Okay, that's
perfect
that's
because
the
it is
purpose.
very much like, had they done it with any other like elves, whatever, probably could have critiqued it a bit more. But it is just quite literally, you just get to be a hobbit and you just get to have a simple life.
And I guess it's like, are the sort of homages that they're paying through the game and how it's all told, they feel respectful and not cheap, like, oh, you're just doing the 6 things that you saw in the movie that they do. It's like,
Exactly.
there's a little bit, it's not quite deep lore heavy, but there's enough in there that shows that this is, because this is done, is Weta involved in this at all?
This is
Weta.
Weta Workshop.
Oh,
Weta-
okay.
video
It's
Yeah,
Weta
yeah.
Workshop's first video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I will say I have already started trying to find ways for some of these recipes to make them in real life. I haven't.
Apparently the cooking's fantastic. Like it's
really,
been that's the
really
thing that's been
good.
getting A+ across all the reviews.
I also like. Oh, amazing! I'm seeing like, and this is a cozy game thing, so I assume that it is the case. There's no fail state to anything. It's all just about choices.
Yep.
Like, how chunky do you want this dish to be?
Yeah.
It's like chunky and smooth and how tender are you making this?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll make it as tender as I feel like.
Yeah, and like you can do for certain things as well, like the ingredients you put in, like a dish may overall be spicy, but if you put in a different type of onion, it might make it a little bit sweet. And like you can do different like combinations too, and it's like you've discovered a sweet and salty dish.
What are the results of those? Did they
Pad
change
Thai.
how people? Oh, pad
Yeah,
Thai.
so every time you organise to have like a dinner,
Yep.
you get, as you get to know them, they give you a hint of what foods they like, and then
yeah.
on the day you'll get a letter in your little post box. You get lettuce every day, it's great, and it'll say I'm feeling like something spicy, and so you look at the dish that they like and you say, okay, what ingredients can I put in to make this spicy?
Skip it all
Yeah, skippity skip.
How big is the town? How big is the play area?
It's quite large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's also very intricate. Like the paths will weave around no matter which way you go. And so sometimes you feel like you're like, oh, I've just done a full circle. Ready?
Waves at the duck.
Yay.
Aww.
Hi.
Very sweet.
And you get to like just do little things. It's just so cute.
Do you think we're a bit, I don't want to say, we're spoiled for choice when it comes to cozy games now because it is such a big genre, and I think that's fantastic, and there's so many different games out there that explore it. I think what's tricky here is that, as you pointed out, being this Weta's first game, it's going to have a few, I guess, teething issues or just some stuff they're learning along the way as developers now. And unfortunately, coinciding with the fact that the expectation that Hobbit cozy game should be it should be the ultimate cozy game. It should take the learnings from everything and do it perfectly. And I think that's a very high bar for them to clear.
Especially when it's their first game.
That's exactly my point. I'm saying it's like because it's their first, but everyone goes, oh, but a Hobbit game should take things from Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, and it should know how to do them perfectly. But it is their first game, and so I'm not saying we just completely let them out scot-free, but it's like there's enough to like here, but maybe not weighed against every other cozy game out there.
There is one character in this game that it's very adorable, and it's how I figured out where we are in the timeline. It's baby Rosie Cotton, And she talks about
Aw.
Sam in the other village and like how she's friends with Sam and Sam gets a little bit older. So because Lily is friends with Sam's parents, she's got a little stuffed toy. Like it's so adorable.
That is very
like
sweet.
it's very little cute things like
Its
that.
heart is very much in the right place, I think. And for you to find joy in that proves, I think, that everyone's just coming at quite cynically. Not cynically, but like...
I think, and look, I love playing cozy games, and play quite a few of them. And I feel like people are a lot harder on cozy games than they seem to be on other games, and it bums me
100%.
out. And like, it may be because there's lots of them, right? And there's lots of them coming out now, so they're everything's constantly being compared to one another. But they already get a somewhat of a bad rap from the they're not real games crowd. But then they get even harder because it's like, well, it doesn't have this from this game and it doesn't have this from that game, and its fishing mini game isn't good enough. And it's like, if someone's enjoying it, who gives a shit?
And that's the thing is I think it's so much like it's about the vibes when it comes to cozy games, whereas like so many other games, it's like, all right, we need the intense graphics and we need the storyline to be really good. Whereas this is just like, I just want to switch on, run around a little
Switch
bit
off.
and switch off.
Yeah, try and switch off. Yeah, is there any progression to your character other than what you learn about cooking, or can you build out your other
you
than the
romance?
stuff that gets delivered? Can you just furnish your home, or can you build a hobbit hole?
So you start with only part of it. So
Yeah.
it's all connected. Anything that's progression with you is still connected to relationships. So there's like one
Okay.
that's like a builder, and she will unlock areas of the hobbit hole for you as you progress with your
Cool, got it.
relationship. And the same thing goes like gardening. Like you start with a tiny little patch, but then you've got all this extra space and it opens up new pathways. And it's the same with like into some of the parts of the map. Like they'll be locked off until you've created a good enough relationship. They'll say, I'm going to take you to my little location that I hide away in. And you get to do all of that. So there is like room for you to expand that's not just focusing on the story.
But in terms of customization, everyone's got the same layout probably of the hobbit hole that unlocks bit by bit.
Yep, but there's
Yeah, okay.
a lot of shit that you can put in
Totally.
it.
I just you're not in there mining through working out how to
No.
build. It's more straight, which
You
makes sense. for
decorate
this.
it to make it your own. As
I have
opposed
seen
to-
the decoration is incredibly, as you said, intricate to people, and there are people out there that really obsess over this stuff. It's like moving every individual item.
Yep.
Like Steph's, not Valheim, the
vampire one.
Yeah, it's like moving individual candles in this, and I've watched people's socials being like, I just don't know where to put this rug, and it's like, I love that some people can just get obsessed with that and enjoy that.
We saw the developers talk at PAX
Yes.
2 years ago, and at the time, like, because this game has been delayed for quite some time as well.
It was last year.
Was it last year? We
Yeah.
saw it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Time is a.
They did get a delay though, yeah.
Yeah.
It did get delayed, and at the time there was the IGN preview that went up that was pretty scathing. I think it came out just before we were, like the week before we went to
Yep.
PAX, and they were there. They were probably aware of that article. They didn't reference it, but everything like that. There was a tone shift to, oh, this thing might not work, and then we went and saw them, and I was like, oh, these are the right people.
Yeah.
They are talking about what they're doing in the right ways.
Yeah.
And it's wetter. They are the custodians of the Tolkien storytelling now, thanks to the work that they did with Peter Jackson in the films. And so it felt like it was in safe hands, and I'm glad it's landed.
You
For
can
someone who I
tell-
know loves this type of game and Tolkien.
You can tell that it was like, that's the thing is, above all, you can tell it was created by people that enjoy his works. Like, you can tell it wasn't just someone looking for a quick buck.
Yeah.
Like, the things that are in it are thought out in a way that other game developers wouldn't think of. And it's just like, it's little things that just, like the way that the hobbits look and like the customizations you can have from it. It's very like, they've got in their head the essence of what it should be, and they've tried to put that in the game. And there's jankiness with the way that you move and stuff like that.
That camera, unfortunately, is not doing itself any favors.
Yeah.
You perpetually look like you're Gandalf height, ducking under everything, and ooh, as you come under, like. But and again, that's learning issues with like early on. But it's like there does feel something about the FOV, the size of the character. Skipping through the Hobbit Howl isn't ideal, but again, if you
But
like the
also,
rest of it,
skipping.
oh totally.
Skipping some-
I think
When
you
I
should be able to
discovered
skip
skipping in the house.
every game.
when I discovered it, I was like, It's the greatest thing ever.
Straight up. I want to skip through Silent Hill. You know what I mean?
And you've got birds that guide you. So that's how you know where to go, is little birds will land on top, and whichever way they're facing and where they fly off to, that's the direction you need to go. Yeah.
That's their version of the Ghost of Tsushima wind.
Yeah.
But the fact that this game is about like feeding people meals they like
It's
is
really
so it's so
sweet.
perfect. I mean that is what hobbits are.